Welcome back to the Rise Above podcast. Today, we're at Texas State University, just as we were last week, but this time we're at Bobcat Stadium with one of the most energetic coaches I've ever met and one of the best people that I'm so excited to have on the podcast today, assistant head coach and special teams coach for Texas State University's football team, Daniel Da Prato. First off, Coach, thanks for being on with us.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I'm honored to be here, and I appreciate you taking the time to spend some time with me today. Looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. And one of the main reasons I got Coach Da Prato on is because last year I had the opportunity to go speak to South Florida when he was coaching with their team, and I remember from the time I heard Coach Da Prato speaking, just his appreciation for life and just his energy just stood out from the first time I even heard you speak.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Will, and I think part of that, I see you and look to you every single day for what you do on a daily basis, and the opportunity that I got to meet you in 2019 when I was at the University of Arkansas, and just glad we've been able to stay in contact, and appreciate, again, the opportunity today.
Yes, sir. And now Coach Da Prato, he's finished his first year with Texas State, and as we were talking about beforehand, this was your guys' best year in FBS history for the school?
Yeah, absolutely. So school transition, won some, probably see behind, there's some national championships and some other things. We're in an unbelievable setting here, a lot of construction going on, a lot of, just a great time, right? I say a lot of the times, like, kind of, this is the place and now is the time here at Texas State. So had a good season last year, got a chance to go to a bowl game, first bowl game in school's history, win a bowl game, was obviously the first win in school's history. We won 8 games and had a lot of fun, but still a lot of work to do. Our goal is not just to get to bowl games, it's to win championships, and that's what our kids are working for every single day right now, and what our coaches are working towards.
Yes, sir. And one thing that anyone that follows Texas State football has saw on Twitter, and it really stood out to me because just the confidence and belief you guys have had, is a motto called "Take Back Texas." How did that motto start, and what does that motto pretty much mean?
So I'll be honest, that kind of took its course before I even got here. I came in with Coach Kinney and the staff. Rumor has it, Coach Greg, our corners coach, came up with it. I don't know if that's true or not, but the staff kind of developed that as Coach Kinney got hired here and brought the staff together, and it was kind of, we're going to recruit the state of Texas. We're going to bring in kids, high school kids, and then bring kids back that might have gone off to somewhere else. And our goal is to take back Texas and win and do things that have never been done here before. We're off to a good start, but we believe that this is a very, very special place, special university, institution, location, campus, all the above, and we want to take it back.
Yeah, and I will second that. You don't even have to see this place to know it's a special place.
Yeah,
there's a lot of cool things happening.
Darn right.
And what I think is cool about Take Back Texas is a lot of people might see that from the outside and say, okay, they started the Take Back Texas thing after they beat Baylor. But that started before the Baylor game, right?
Yeah, that started before I got hired. So I got hired last year in December, so I guess that would be 2022 December. That was going on before then. So that was a solid 9 months before we even started the season. So, yeah, that was something when the staff actually got together. That was the motto, going out recruiting, trying to get the great players that we brought in to come here to Texas State, and so far so good.
Oh. And in your role as an assistant head coach and special teams coach, what does that look like?
Yeah, so coordinating all the special teams, so all 8 units, right? Because you got your punt, your punt block, kickoff return, then you got your PAT, field goal block, and then hands and must onside. People, you got to put the hands team out there. That you better consider that part of it. So everybody expects you to get the ball on a must onside and a hands unit, so we always include that. So that's roughly 88 starters that we say every single game we're responsible from special teams. So there's that piece of it, and then from the the assistant head coach side of it, that's some more day-to-day stuff, right? I help out with academics. I help out with our young men in study hall. I help out coach with things, helping in facility renovations. Just anywhere that I can add value to our program, I'm here to help. And I think that's kind of important when we're talking about, the Rise Above podcast that we're sitting on here right now, is what can I do to add value to our program? program. And for anybody out there that's looking to add and grow in whatever it is they're doing, right? Whatever your role is, add value. Every interaction that you have with somebody, you're either adding value, you're taking it away. So make sure that's a great interaction. But I just try and be available to help Coach Kenny, to help our staff in whatever way possible each and every day that we go through this program.
I think that's a great testament to every day trying to be a giver and not a taker. And now that you're here at Texas State, I know it's been a long journey getting here, as we talked about beforehand, all the different schools you've been at, and just your journey in football overall, man. How did that love for this game start?
Yeah, so my dad coached for 40-plus years. I grew up around football my entire life. As soon as school ended, my mom would take me to practice, and I'd be at my dad's practices. They tell a story when I was really little, like 2 or 3 years old. I would just sit on my dad's foot and wrap my arms and legs around his leg, and he'd just drag me around practice, throughout the day. So that's kind of how it started, all day, every day. And then I started playing football, got into playing, and at the end of my career, I knew that I wasn't going to continue playing. And if I wanted to, it was going to be a tough road that wasn't going to be, that wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking to get into coaching. And I had the opportunity right away to get into coaching. And to me, football's the vehicle, right? Football's the vehicle that allows us to help young people. And there's a lot of people out there that need help. All of us have our struggles. Every single person, right, has struggles on a day-to-day basis. But just being around these young people and being able to impact their lives, as I saw through my father growing up, and he was a junior college head. He was a high school head coach, junior college head coach. So I got to see the impact that he had on people's lives. And then as I got into coaching and I started recruiting places where his players were coaching, that was what really hit me, was the impact in the stories that they told over and over and over about the time they spent with my dad, who was coaching them. That's what really hit home. And yeah, I just completed my 20th year of Division I coaching. It's been an incredible journey, and I feel like it's just getting going.
Yeah. Wow. So right after you get done playing, you just went straight to coaching?
Yeah, straight into it. So I actually played 4 straight years in college, which now that seems like there's people that play 6, 7, 8, 9 years, but played 4 straight seasons. So my 8th semester of college, I actually volunteered as a graduate assistant because I was still finishing my undergraduate degree. So I was still on scholarship. I volunteered and basically, put my best foot forward in hopes that, hey, I'll be free for you all spring. I'll do a great job. And then when summer rolls around, hopefully I'll get hired. And that for me, fortunately, that's how it worked out. I kind of bet on myself and it worked out. And again, 20 years later, here we are going into season 21. So fired up about it.
That's crazy. And it probably feels like it's just flown by.
It goes by fast. It sure does.
Yeah. And something I love that you said there is you talked about equipping these players for stuff that happens on and off the field because, as you know, life will happen. Man, when was there a time that you've learned that, man, football is just much bigger than a game?
Yeah, so touch on a couple things there. One, I think in football, right, there's tons of people that know football. There's coaches everywhere at every single level that know football. But to me, the most important thing is we got to show them how much we care before they care how much I know, right? And it's about investing in them to help them, right? And that's to help them as young men. That's to help them get their education. And I keep looking over there because that's where campus is. But to help them get their education, right? But grow, like enjoy the college experience. College is a great time in your life, right? And there's a lot of things going on in our game right now, and I get it with the transfer portal and NIL and all these other things that come up. But at the end of the day, my role and my job is just to help them. And I believe if we invest in them and show them again how much I care and love them and I'm here to help them, then I'm going to get more out of them on the football field, right? Because as we sit with the stadium right here, we're going to have 6 or 7 home games a year in that stadium. We're going to play a total of 12 regular season games. Then you get into playoffs and bowl games and all those things. That's a very minimal amount of performances, opportunities to showcase your talents and abilities. So what are we doing that the other 300, you got 15 games, the other 350 days? That's where the impact is. But I truly believe that you get better results on Saturday Saturdays in those minimal opportunities when you invest the other 350 days. Every single day you have an opportunity to invest and show them how much you care. And I think that to me is the impact that shows up. And that's where I have seen over 20 years of coaching, you get better results from players, and they play harder for you. I'm not saying better results is in wins and losses. I'm saying you get kids to play harder and kids to buy into what you're coaching and selling every day as a coach because of that love and passion you have for them. Yep. Not just the game, for them.
Exactly. And I was talking to one of your players, your long snapper, John Orline, but before the podcast, and he was talking about how last year was one of the most fun years he's ever had playing football, because he knew sometimes coaches are going to be hard on me, but he also knew how much they cared and how much you and the rest of the staff cared about the players.
Yeah, and I think that's neat. John is an example of someone who recruited to Arkansas in 2019, coached him in 2019, and then there was some departure. We went some different ways, and then lo and behold, I get over here in 2023, and John's looking for a new home, and I'm sitting here with open arms, ready to bring him home. And John did a great job, stepped up, played for us, and had an incredible year. But there's a lot of those stories of young men that came in with an opportunity to go out there and succeed, and they did that, and they stepped up and put their best foot forward. And like I said, we're not satisfied by any means with what took place last year, but a good step in the right direction, good foundation laid for what we're about to do this year.
Yes, sir. So last year, would you say that you guys' main goal is just instill the culture and just the players?
No, I'll be honest. Our goal was to win a championship, and we fell short.
Yeah.
We didn't get that done, and that's on us. That's on us as coaches. That's on us as players. We had opportunities, and we didn't get it done. There's nowhere else to look. It's always, and as we talk about rising above, you got to look in the mirror, right? Whether that's in your football life, your personal life, your faith, if you're married, if you're a father, you have kids, whatever it may be. If something's not going the way you want it to, I tease people all the time. I say, hey, I got a boss at work and I got a boss at home. And usually when something's not right, it's usually my fault. But I also say, driving to and from work, I feel like I'm in charge. I'm the man. I can go windows up, windows down, whatever I want to do. But no, I think it's important to understand, if something's not going your way, you got to start with you, and you got to figure out what's going on to where you can get it fixed. And you talk about coaching at different places. Yeah, I've been a lot of great places. My favorite place is right here, and that's because it's where my feet are. And I'm sure over time, and it always hasn't been that way, right? At 42 years old, I've been around a little bit, so I truly believe you got to be where your feet are. You got to have 10 toes down. You got to put your head forward, and you got to work. And I tell young people, young coaches, people involved in any program, have former players reach out like, Coach, hey, I want to get to here. I want to do this. And I said, put your head down, work, put your head down. If you don't like the current role that you're in, you got to shine so bright that everybody takes notice. And you don't always know when that opportunity is going to present itself. But I can promise you this, if you're not starring in your current role, when the opportunity comes, you're not going to be ready, or you're not going to have somebody recommend it for you. So I'm just a really firm believer in that. You wake up in the morning, you got your options of how you want your day to go. And in my own life, if something's not really going my way, it's typically my fault. It's not anybody else's. There's a lot of adversity that hits everybody, right? But you're not necessarily in charge of the adversity that hits you, but you sure are in charge of how you respond. And I'm obviously sitting with someone who is one of the best examples of that. You don't get to control what happens, but boy, you sure do get to control how you respond to it.
I love what you said about that, because I feel like so many people in life just feel like they're the victim. Oh, there's nothing I can do about my situation. But the reality is, like you said, you got to look in the mirror sometimes and ask yourself, are you blaming others? Are you complaining? Are you trying to defend yourself in every situation? And I think once you eliminate that, you have so much more opportunity. And something I always tell people is, when people see me walking around, I'm walking around with a stick. But the only way that stick works is when I'm in the moment. If I focus too much on what's in front of me, I'm probably going to miss a step. And same in my life. I focus too much on what's in front of me, worrying, then I'm not going to know where I'm at. Focus too much on what's behind me, I'm just going to be lost if you see me walking around and look like an idiot. But when I stay in the moment, I always know where I'm at and where I need to go. But I have to remind myself every day, what is my stick? How am I going to stay in the moment and just be grateful. Like you said, man, every day is a blessing.
Yeah, and I'll be the first to tell you, I struggle. I mean, we all struggle. Everyone has struggles, and I just think it's important to fall back. So as we sit and talk, I'm talking to myself, and I tell the players that all the time. Like, hey, I'm reiterating something to you, but I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the assistant, the assistant coach that's in the room. I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to myself. That usually when something's not going your way, look in the mirror. It's probably something that you got going on that you can help with or you can work on to make yourself better, which in turn makes everybody around you better.
Yes, and I think that it's such a big part of like football, but also like 20 years down the road, players being able to look at, okay, I've hit a rock in the road, but I can look back to when I was in that hard time in football, what were my coaches telling me? Yeah. And I think there's so many times, even in my life now in college, that I might face something hard, but I can look back to a lesson that I learned in high school football, what we were talking about before practice, whether it was unity, heart, dependability, grit, whatever the word was. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that's played a huge part of your life, just the lessons you've learned playing and now coaching football, because not every day is going to be a holiday. Not every meal is going to be a banquet, but just always not pointing fingers, but saying, you know what, I'm going to buckle down. I'm not making excuses. Yeah,
and I think I know you've heard this before, but everybody's an All-American when it's 72 and partly cloudy. That's something that Coach Morris used to say all the time. And what we're referring to there is when times are easy, everybody can be great, right? But what are you doing during the times of adversity, right? People's true color comes out during adversity, and I think that's something, college athletic, being a college student athlete, not just football, any sport, is very difficult. And it's very easy to come to a game and see the product that's on the field and say, oh, that's great, I want to do that. Well, there's all those other days that go into that. All the difficult times in the weight room, all the difficult times training, late night studying, all the things that are weighing on any individual, whether that's in sport or whether that's in life, right? When you get out of college and you go into life, there's a whole bunch of other things that are going to come your way. But when times are going well, right, there's a lot of people that are All-Americans, as we said. But when that adversity hits, that's when you really got to step up, and those are the times you got to train for, and then obviously work through.
Yep, and I know all the different places you've coached. Now here, you're going to come across players. You have over 100 players on your team who face adverse situations. What's some adversity in your life that you face, but looking back now on it, you're thankful for it?
Yeah, and I think, you go through coaching and you look at, like you said, there's 120 kids on a team that come from all different walks of life and I've coached. I mean, somebody pointed out the other day, I've coached on the West Coast. As far west you can go, as far east you can go, as far north and as far south. So I've been in a lot of different places and been around a lot of different individuals. And I guess when I look back on it, for me, I'll be honest, I've been very fortunate with my upbringing from my family, with the opportunity to go play college athletics. Yeah, sure, I could find something in there where I got injured or this happened, but at the end of the day, I've had it very good, and I've had a great path with great mentors, great people around me, and I could sit there and point the finger and say, oh well, this happened, or oh, I got beat out, or they played this person, they did it. At the end of the day, though, to me, that's not adversity. That's things that that come up in your life, and shoot, you got to handle, right? And again, choose how to respond. So I've been very fortunate, and you can look at very difficult times of when you got let go. Like in coaching, you sign up for it, right? And sometimes things don't work out, and the staff gets let go. Like, how do you respond? And I've been in difficult times. The first time I got let go, we were at Montana State, and we got fired as a staff. And shoot, I was on offense. I was coaching offense. We had the number one offense in the country, and coaching special teams. We were very successful, and I was out of work for about 3.5 months. And you learn a lot about yourself, and that was a very difficult time. And I try and encourage others now. A guy will get let go, and I'll reach out to him. Typically, people want to call or send you a text when you win a game and something good happens. I try and spend more time reaching out to friends and colleagues and former players when something doesn't go well. You lose a tough game, and I'll reach out. Hey, man, I've been there. I'm here for you. You ever need to talk? Let me know. I think those are the more impactful times. The big wins, yeah, everybody sends you a text on that one. Yeah. Those are great. But when things aren't going well, who's in your corner? I think that's super important.
Yeah, I think that's so key. Something I always share with people is in life, two of the most important things is know where your hope comes from in your faith, and then along the way, you got to surround yourself with great people that are going to be there for you when times are good and keep you accountable when times are bad and still help you get back up. And I love, too, what you said there about pressure. Like, well, I mean, what is pressure? A lot of people are in hard times and thinking, oh man, this is so bad. But something I have to remind myself daily is, even when I start to lose my sight, is this even pressure? Pressure is knowing that I only have a few more hours to live. I mean, where I'm at, I'm able to walk, able to do so many things in life that God has blessed me with and given me the ability. Man, it's shown me that, every day is a blessing, and that's something I picked up on you too, just appreciation for life.
And I think you kind of asked, some adversity that you faced. When I sit and look at the 20 years of coaching that I've had, I immediately think of the young men that I've coached and the adversity that they've faced. I have not faced any of that. I've been around some young men that they've had to face real adversity, real tough upbringings of sleeping on in a car, on a park bench, not having a home, not having people in their life to help them. And I've seen young men from that be able to get to college, earn a degree, earn a scholarship, move on and play at the next. That's real adversity. That's things that, in the vast majority of those that end up doing really well, do they struggle? You're darn right. Do they go through tough times? You're darn right. But guess what? They also have the mindset of, I'm not going to let where I started or where I came from affect me, because I'm going and I'm on this path. And you either get on board or you get out of the way. But they're going on that path. So that to me is real. Those are real struggles that people go through in life. But we're truly blessed to be sitting here today. With this, we stumbled upon this backdrop here that's incredible, and the sun's out, and it's a great day to be alive.
Yes, sir. And I think that's so cool too about what you said about your players inspiring you too. Seeing those players, seeing where they are and how they've been able to overcome adversity. And I'm sure that's something that helps keep you going too.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest things, right? We say there's 120 players on your team, right? And in my current role, I get to basically coach all of them. And so I'm around them, get to see them, get to be a part of their life. But I get 120 of those a year. So for me as a coach, I'm just one person, where those guys, I get inspired by all of them every day. So to me, I feel like I'm the blessed, lucky one that I get to be a part of their life. Those guys are more inspiring. I see them as more inspiration to me than I am to them. Those guys fire me up every single day when they come out and they're juiced up and ready to go. If you're juiceless, you're useless.
Yes, sir.
And you're juiceful, you're useful. Again, I think that's another Coach Morris saying there. But those guys get me going, right? I'm there to help them get going, but at the same time, I feed off their energy. All types of energy are infectious, right? Positive energy, you feel it, you're going. But the same, right? Negative energy, and I can bring people down too. And you got to encourage those to make sure, if you're in a situation like that, get out of it. Get around positive people with positive energy, and I promise you it'll make that day a heck of a lot better.
Yes, sir. One of my favorite quotes is, every room you enter, you either infect it with your bad energy, or you effect it, and you're a spark, some type of person that when you're around them, you have no option but to be positive. I feel that, and I struggle. Personally, I struggle when I'm not around that. If there's people that are around that bring me down, that's tough. And sometimes you're running some players, and they're dealing with that a little bit. And boy, I don't mean it in a negative way, but I'm coming at them. I'm here. Let's go. We got to get it going. We got to get it out of you. We got to find a way. And sometimes that takes longer than others for some. But man, I feel like when we're talking about sport and athletics, you're always playing better when you're in a good place. When you're fired up, when you're enjoying it. And that's kind of part of the recruiting process. Boy, you better come here and be fired up to enjoy everything about Texas State. Now it's easy, right? We're at Texas State and the river, and there's a lot of good things going on. Exactly.
But in life, when you're enjoying the things that are going on, right, you're going to perform better at whatever you do. We were joking earlier, right? How you do anything's how you do everything. But when you're enjoying what you're doing and you're having fun in every aspect of life, I promise you all of it seems to work a little bit better.
Yeah, and I think that's something that so many people forget about sports. They're like, the only thing we're doing is just trying to win, which if your goal isn't to win, then you shouldn't be doing it. Like,
right, no doubt.
There's no doubt. But I think what so many people forget is while you're doing everything you can to win, man, you can have a great time doing it.
Yeah, have fun in everything you do. I think that's something I try and I had to run errands earlier today with my I got 2 little daughters. I had to run, man, we were having a blast. Like we're riding the cart through Lowe's. I'm about bumping into people, and I'm trying not to hit anybody, but we're skidding around, having them there, smiling, laughing, giggling. Like, have fun in everything you do. The work, the grind, it's hard. In life, right? Not just sport. In life, it's hard. College student athlete, it's hard, right? But enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, I promise you, it'll start adding up in a hurry. So, firm believer, have fun in everything you do. Now, there's a fine line there, right? You got to get the work done, right? Yeah. I've never walked away from a game that I didn't win where I'm like, oh, you know what, I had fun. No, never. That's never occurred. But the fun is in the winning, right? So if you can enjoy it day to day, you can get the results you're looking for day to day, then you get out there and you produce a good product, then you're winning. Now the fun is in the winning. So definitely believe that as well.
Exactly. And I think that's something that anyone can take with them, any aspect in life, that sure, life can be hard, and you might think all I need to do is make this amount of money. All I need to do is win this game. And sure, you should strive to be the best in whatever you're doing. But in that, man, have fun. And I think that all comes from just having a positive attitude. And like we've talked about, just appreciation for life.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There'll all be great events and things that occur along the way, especially throughout a season, in some type of sport or business life. There's always those milestones. But at the end of the day, it's the journey. It's each and every day along the way that really gets you going and gets you fired up to enjoy that particular day.
Yeah, that's why I love the quote, the dream is the journey. Mm-hmm. Because there's so many experiences I've looked back on that I'm like, man, I just wish I would appreciate that moment more, whether it's something good or bad, and just being grateful for every day. And I know you talked a little bit about how, teams of 120, not everyone is going to be just fired up to go out to practice every day.
Yeah.
What's kind of a message that you give to a player that just having a rough day?
Yeah, and I think it's you touched on it. It's being the moment, right? So whatever's going on outside of that particular moment, right? So we're going out to the practice field. It's going to be hard. We're in the middle of fall camp. It's going to be hard, right? But why are we doing what we're doing? Why did you sign up to play Pee Wee football 12 years ago to get to this point? This was your dream. Now live it. You're living your dream. Live it each and every single day. And I think that's the important thing. I'm living my dream. I mean, I get to, they pay me to coach college athletics. Like, come on, that's phenomenal, right? I'm living my dream every single day. But when we lose sight of that, whether it's as a coach, as a player, as a person, as a businessman, whatever it is we're doing, when you lose sight of that, that's when it gets hard. And for a young man, I try and get them going on that they are literally living their dream. You dreamed about this moment for however long. Let's live it today in this particular moment. Let's go live it. Then when we're done, we'll figure it out and leave whatever it is at the door, right? Leave that stuff at the door. We'll get to that down the road. But let's go out there and let's have some fun, because that moment of that practice is the only thing we're in charge of, right? I firm believer, learn from the past, live in the present, which is right now, while you plan for the future. But if you're always staring and looking down to the future, you're not going to get there, because you're not going to live in the moment. You're not going to get what you want right now. So I'm trying to encourage those guys on a daily basis to make sure just live right now, this moment where your feet are, and we'll eventually get to where we want to go, but you can't sit there and focus on where you want to go. You got to live now.
Yeah, and I think that goes great with, like last year was a good year in university standards, best year in FBS. But like you said, you're not satisfied.
No, that's not what we were looking for. Yeah. And that comes from the top. Coach Kenny's an incredible leader, incredible man. And yeah, that wasn't our goal. Sure, that was awesome. Yeah, go to a bowl and go to, that was great. We had a lot of fun. But at the end of the day, our goal is to win championships and hoist up another trophy before we get to go and get the bowl trophy. But I think that's important, right? And And I'll say this too, no matter what it is you do, the moment you think you've arrived, you're going to get replayed. You're going to get passed up. You're going to get replaced. So even when we hold that, we get to the point where we're able to win a conference championship, we'll hold that thing up, we'll celebrate it, then we'll go get ready for the bowl game, the playoff game, whatever it may be, and you can't ever sit there and relax. Because at the end of the day, and say this to players all the time, whatever the goals are that we got to get to, like we got to get there and then we got to get past them. And wherever you think you can go, it's my job to take you a step further. And I think that's important for anybody in life. Like we can all go places that we've never been before. Dream big, work harder. Dream big. Anybody can do anything in this world that they want to do. Dream about it, but work harder because you got to work for it. No one's going to give you anything. So that's kind of just something I try and live my own life by every single day. And it helps me, so I'm hoping it helps others.
I love that quote, dream big, work hard. One of my buddies actually told me that. He has an awesome story. Grew up in Ghana and moved to New Jersey and loved playing basketball, but he was just never good. And he just kept staying at it. And he went to school at the University of Dayton and he tried out for the team, and they only gave him 5 minutes because he just wasn't good enough. But he kept staying at it, became a manager. Then some kids for the Dayton basketball team got suspended. Kid got hurt. Next thing you know, he's on the end of the bench, suited up. And one game, they're killing a team, and they only have 7 guys on the bench, and he gets put in the game, and he gets fouled and shoots 2 free throws, makes one of them, scored a point in a college basketball game because he did not quit. Yeah. He dreamed big, work hard. Now, he has worked for the University of Arkansas's basketball team and is working for the Houston Rockets.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and he told me that, and I was like, man, that is freaking awesome. That's a testament of, just keep going.
Yeah, just put your head down and work. And he wasn't going to let anybody, and I say, don't let anybody tell you no. Don't let anybody tell you what you can or can't do. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. So go do it. But no one's going to give it to you.
Exactly.
You got to work for it. You got to work for it.
One of my favorite Bible verses is Galatians 6, verse 9, where it says, don't grow weary of doing good, but at the proper time you'll reap a harvest. And the end of this verse is something I try to remember every day, where it says you'll reap a harvest when you do not give up.
Don't give up. You don't give in. That's the key, right? Of that whole. I love that verse. And in talking about no matter what, you will reap the harvest, but it's not going to come to you when you want it to come. It's not going to come to you when you press a button and you say, "Oh, I need the harvest right now." It's going to come to you when you don't give up, you don't give in, and you keep working every single day. I love that. I think that's great.
And I remember I love this verse because, like, man, I loved all you guys on Coach Morris's staff. And I tell people all the time, like, Coach Morris, one of the people that truly helped change the trajectory of my life just because of, like, his belief in me. And I remember, like, whenever you guys got let go, I was devastated because my goal my entire life was, like, either play college baseball or be with the Razorbacks in some way. And when he got fired, I remember thinking, like, man, what am I going to do? Like, I still want help with the team. And I emailed almost everyone on staff, didn't hear back. And I just kept emailing people. Eventually got someone that helped me get connected with someone. Then I show up to school at the University of Arkansas, and they let me in the football facility, but I don't like have an exact role. And I remember like praying to God, thinking, God, man, what am I doing here? Like, I thought this was supposed to work out how I want it to work out. But by staying around, showing up every day, even times where it was hard to find, where's the facility at? Walking there every day. But by showing up every day and knowing that, okay, I'm not going to rely on God's timing, but just having a positive attitude. There's so many players that I've been able to meet and even have on this podcast where it's been like, man, that was God's reason. And just people have been able to speak to, and just like you say, the players that are able to inspire you.
Yeah, and I think you're doing the same to them, though, too. And that's the important thing of that example that you just gave of no matter what. Like, I started, all the people that I knew were no longer there. Then I started emailing people, trying to find a way. And you don't need everybody to respond. You just need one response. You just need one opportunity to get your foot in the door in life and whatever it is you're doing. And I think that's the key. There's a lot of people that, a lot of young men that are trying to get to the NFL. We don't need all 32 teams to like you. You just need one. All you need is that one opportunity. Now, when you get it, you also got to take advantage of it, right? It's not one of those, well, I get my shot. Well, you got to take it too. So I think that's awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing that.
Exactly. And I think that's probably played a big part in your life too. Just from being at so many different schools and just staying persistent. I'm sure that's a huge part of why you're here today.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, like I said, I'm living my dream. I mean, getting to coach college athletics is incredible, and everybody's journey is a little different. And everybody comes from a different background, and where that starts and how it goes. I just try and tell people all the time, run your race. Don't be looking at others and say, well, this guy got to do this, or this guy got this offer, or this school got that. No, that's not it. That you're not there. Don't worry about it. That has nothing to do with you. Just put your head down and work. Run your race. Like whatever you have, that's you. Do you all the time, and I think good things will happen.
Yes, sir. It's like the quote. Everyone hears, "Oh, the grass is greener on the other side."
Oh yeah.
But what you don't know is the sewage system that could be under that green grass.
Oh yeah.
And like the issues under there. That's why, man. Just staying where you're at every day.
Yeah.
And I think that is so important in life, and almost a lost art.
Yeah, and again, in college athletics, things have changed, right? And people have the opportunity to move on and get another opportunity. And that's worked out for a lot of people. And other opportunities are going to come your way, but I believe they come when you are being where your feet are, right? So anyone that in a job, right, in the business world, if you're really good at your job and you are where your feet are and you love it, and then another opportunity comes your way, well, it's because you're doing really good at your job, or you've done really well before and you're continuing to do good, and now something better is coming your way. And that's hard too, right? Because you got to pack up and move, and whether that's a student athlete, a coach, whatever it may be, there's those things that come up as well. But I still believe the key is if you're not living in the moment, if you're not right where your feet are, those opportunities don't come your way.
Yes, sir. And it's like when you plant that seed and you stay in the moment every day, man, like we said, Galatians 6:9, you don't grow weary. You never know what can happen.
Yeah.
Like, dream big, work hard. It's not just a saying, it's the truth.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And man, that's awesome. And in your walk, you've had the opportunity to come across probably at this point hundreds, maybe even thousands of players or just different people along the way in your coaching journey. If they could remember you for one thing or a few things, what would that be?
Oh man, that's a tough one. That one's deep. I would just say I think you touched on it, right? We've known each other for about 4 years now.
Yes, sir, 4 years.
Energy. I mean, I think you have a choice every single day. If you want to make it a great day, that's up to you. You go have breakfast somewhere, and they say, "Oh, have a nice day." I appreciate them saying that, but in my opinion, it's you want to have a great day. You make it a great day. That's your choice. If you want to make it a great day, make it a great day. So I would want to be remembered by just the energy that I bring to each day in life, and approaching it as I got this day and I'm going to make the absolute most of it, and hopefully with a big smile on my face, having fun in everything that I do.
That's awesome. And it goes right along with one of my other favorite Bible verses. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
Yep.
And I think it's so easy to sometimes glance over quotes or verses and say, okay, it's just a verse. It's just a quote. But when you realize that, man, this is the day, let us rejoice and be glad in it. And every day is your best opportunity. I think that is something that can not only help your life, but so many lives you come across are going to be able to look back and see, you know what? I might be going through something hard or something I think is hard, but I can look back to that one person I met that they weren't going to take a day for granted despite what they're going through. And looking back at their life, you can say, man, because of that person, I'm not going to take a day for granted.
Well, and I'll be honest, Will, that's why I'm sitting here with you today. I mean, you talk about adversity hitting, and you don't know, you live in the moment because you don't know what tomorrow holds. Obviously, you had some incredible adversity in your life, and look at you now, right? How you've used that to be able to help you in your journey and your path. But we don't know what tomorrow holds, and I think that's a great testament to who you are and what you stand for. Is I don't know what tomorrow's going to look like, so I'm going to enjoy every single second of today, and whatever comes at me tomorrow, I'm gonna have to figure out how to make it a great day, regardless of what adversity or what anything that might come my way is gonna be. And I just appreciate you for what you do and how you attack life every single day, and the encouraging text messages that you send to me. And man, I just appreciate you for that.
Yes, sir, Coach. You're one of the people that whenever I start this podcast that I circle with, I'm like, man, there's so many people across the country I want to get on, but Coach Da Prato is at the top of the list, just because the impact people like you, Coach Morris, just giving me the opportunity to speak, and that's just something that every day. Like I tell people, I don't know if they realize how much I appreciate it, because almost every morning I listen to like speeches of some of the first opportunities I got to speech, whether it was with at Arkansas or whether it was when you guys were at South Florida. And I just look back to those times and say, man, God has blessed me with the opportunity to just be able to speak. And man, I'm never going to take this for granted, because what has happened in my life has been, some people from the outside looking in that don't know me say, oh man, I feel so bad for you. I feel like you're at a disadvantage. But what I tell people is, man, God has placed one of the biggest advantages in my life to help those around me. Because, man, like we've said so many times, every day is a blessing.
Yeah, and you're doing that each and every day, and that's why when we had the opportunity to have you come speak when we were at Tulsa there, just the impact that you had on people's life. There's a lot of guys that were going through some tough times, right? We were our staff had been, or our head coach had been let go. Our staff was going through change. There was going to be a lot of change coming up, but for our young men to be able to sit there and listen to you speak about adversity, they thought they were going through some adversity, right, in their life at that time, and then all of a sudden to listen to somebody as impactful as you talk to them about your story. Boy, I'll tell you what, there was a lot of kids, they are all coming up like, Coach, man, I appreciate you. Thanks for having him come speak. He's an incredible young man. So again, I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing every single day, because I can promise you're impacting a ton of lives. So keep it up.
Thank you, Coach. And you talk about those guys coming up to you. They impacted me just as much. There's so many guys I came across even since, like at the University of Arkansas, there's actually a guy who played for you guys last year, Antonio Greer. Mm-hmm. He wasn't, I don't think he was with you guys then, but he had heard about me from then, and me and him actually became good friends this year. And every time he come off the sideline, it was, "What's up, Will? It's Antonio." Yeah. And like, I don't think he realizes how far that goes.
Yeah, no. So he was with us for a couple years there. You're correct. He wasn't there with us at the time. In 2022 he was there. So he was there at that particular time.
I think he might have been hurt or something.
Oh, that's right. He was out. Yep, you're correct. He was not with us. He was on the team. He wasn't with us in Tulsa. But awesome young man. But that's what it's about, right? Again, I think it's Coach Morris again. A life touches a life that touches a life. So because of those interactions that we had to be able to get you there, and then that relationship, and then it comes over to full circle when he gets to Arkansas and you guys form that relationship.
Yes, sir. I think it shows so much relationships matter.
Yeah.
Because after Arkansas played Auburn last year in football, for all the Arkansas home games, since I've been a student at Arkansas, I've been on the sideline. Mm-hmm. And there's a guy who I appreciate so much. His name's Hunter Talley. During the games, he was a tight end for us. He would make sure every play, it's 1st and 10. This is going on. Yeah. He'd even tell me the plays of the run-in, which I thought was cool. And after the Auburn game, me and Brian Batty were planning on meeting up after the game, but I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to find him exactly. Yeah. Hunter comes up to me afterwards and says, "Hey, Will, I'm going to go help you find your friend."
Yeah.
So as he helps me find Brian, Brian and Antonio were talking. So it was such a full circle moment, because I was able to get a picture with Brian and Antonio. Yeah. And in that moment, kind of just one of those moments that reaffirms that, man, relationships matter. And like it says in Romans 8, verse 28, all things work for the good of those who love God and are called according to His purpose. So no matter what's going on in life, man, God never says oops.
Nope, you're darn right. And I got a chance to see that picture. I thought that was an incredible moment that you guys had out there. That just awesome.
And that's something I love about the game of football. Like, no matter the team, place you've been, background, walk of life you're in, football really in a huge way shows that love conquers all.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think it goes back to what we first started this with, about how just show those players how much you care before they care how much you know. And I think that's with anything in life, not just football. That just happens to be my role with these young people at the time that they are in their life. But I think that goes for anybody in any walk of life. It's the same.
Yes, sir. And as we finish off today, a question we always ask people when they're on a podcast is, there's going to be someone today listening to this that's going through something hard, where they feel stuck, and they just feel like their situation is just harder than anything they could have imagined in their life. What's an encouraging message you'd have for that person to be able to rise above?
Yeah, I think the first thing that I would say is as a 42-year-old grown man, father, husband, coach, all the above, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to reach out. We all have struggles. We all have things, and I think one of the most difficult things, and as a male especially, is asking for help. There's a pride sense. Oh, I got this. Ask for help. Reach out. There's everyone's going through struggles. Everyone has got some adversity, things going on, and it's not a matter of what or how much or when or where, but everyone's struggling. So number one, don't be afraid to reach out. Reach out to the people in your life. If you don't have someone, find someone. There's people out there that can help. That would be number one. Don't be afraid to reach out. Number two, I think it goes back to looking in the mirror, right? A lot of times it's, man, why am I in this situation? Or, man, why not me? Or why couldn't this happen? Or what that happened to so-and-so? Maybe I got passed up for a promotion, or I didn't get to start in the game. Whatever it may be. A lot of times you got to look to you. What can I do better on a daily basis to get to where I want to go? And that to me is the key. You're gonna wake up and you're gonna get to go. There's 24 hours in a day, and you have the same 24 that I have. So what you do with yours is up to you, and what I do with mine is up to me. But at the end of the day, when you go before you brush your teeth and you're getting ready to bed, you got to look in the mirror again, and you got to say, man, did I give it everything I had today? And if the answer is yes, well, good. Put your head down on the pillow and wake up tomorrow and do it again. If the answer is no, why? And figure out a way to do it better the next day. Because guess what? You're going to put your head down, and God willing, you're going to wake up the next day, and that day's going to start over. So go ahead and put your best day together. And if you hear it, stack days. If you can put a day down that was the best day you've had, and the next day you can find a way to make it better, there you go. You've got the recipe for success right there. So don't be afraid to ask for help, and then look to yourself. What can I do better in whatever it is that I'm doing? Whether it's sport, business, life, my faith, my family, my relationships with friends and others. What can I do better personally to help any of those situations? How can I add value in everything that I do to make every situation better? I think that would be a great starting point right there.
Yeah, that's a great word. And anyone going through anything where you feel like you're stuck, whether it's now, next week, 10 years down the road, remember that there's always someone you can reach out to who wants to help you. Mm-hmm. And if you feel like there isn't, you can personally message me on Instagram, Will Lambley, or the Rise Above page, and we would be more than willing to help you in whatever it is. And man, we can't thank you enough for being on with us today, Coach.
I appreciate you, man. I thank you for having me. It was a pleasure spending some time with you, and I look forward to watching and listening to future podcasts, Rise Above down the road, man. Thank you for what you do.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. We can't thank you enough, and I know, man, I've been motivated during this podcast that no matter what is going on in life, you make no excuses, dream big, work hard. There is no limits for what you can do when you stay in the moment every single day. And you can catch the Rise Above podcast on any platform you listen to podcasts on, or on YouTube, or on Instagram. And know that no matter the storm you face today or for the rest of your life, when you stay in the moment, man, you can always rise above the storms. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will catch you guys later, and go Cats.
Go Cats.